Looking for these better days.
It is Football Friday, January 9th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. A clean sweep of the board last night up on betterday.com, including every bet we made on last night's national semifinal between Miami and Ole Miss, as Miami defeated the Rebels 31-27 to advance to the national championship game, where they will take on the winner of tonight's Peach Bowl between Oregon and Indiana. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mac, we're going to do all the NFL wildcard round games as the bulk of this episode, but we have to quickly just touch upon what we saw last night, which was Trinidad Chambliss absolutely balling out and pulling his team from behind there in an exciting fourth quarter, and Carson Beck, the Miami quarterback, for all the crap that this kid takes, for all the negative opinions about him. I tweeted this out last night. Regardless of how you feel or felt about him, you got to give him credit. He was impressive late in that fourth quarter last night.
As someone that hasn't followed his 7-year college career, I'm like, I know, it's been imprinted in my mind that this guy sucks, but I don't see it. I don't necessarily see it, but I'm not a college football expert. By the way, sweeping the board is nice. What'd you go, 3-0? 2-0, 3-0? Solid
No,
night?
6-0. 6-0. We went 4-0 in the game and then 2-0 hockey plays.
All right, that's a very solid night.
Yeah, that was a good night for Better Day Premium and Insider members. Always head to betterday.com. You can find out how you could elevate your betting game by becoming a Better Day Insider or a Premium member. But the game, the prop bets played out exactly how we thought they would. We almost had a very bad beat, though. We were on Kewan Lacey, the running back of Ole Miss, to go over 77.5 rushing yards. He had that 73-yard touchdown run, and at the end of the first half, finished with 2 carries for 75 yards, because on that 73-yard touchdown run, he tweaked his hamstring. So he leaves the game. He does not return for the rest of the first half. And I'm tweeting out, oh, what's going to happen? It's a bad beat. And then, of course, everybody responds to me, Mackenzie, last night saying, well, don't worry, you'll get your bad beat refund. And I'm just like, that doesn't exist here in Vegas. You know?
Yeah, right. We're hardcore in Vegas.
Yeah, I felt like tweeting at Jeff Benson and being like, "Hey guys, can Circa give me some money back?" You know, like what? No, the bet that doesn't exist here in these books. We don't have the FanDuel early exit policy.
And by the way,
it is.
I'm glad, because you know what we get instead? Like fair prices on these markets,
Exactly.
Sharper lines and less big.
Yep.
You know, and I like to bet unders when people might get hurt. So he comes back in the third quarter, Terrell Davis style, and wins the Super Bowl.
Well, he comes back in the third quarter, Mackenzie, and does not touch the ball. He is a complete decoy. Ole Miss ran 20 consecutive pass plays.
Wow.
And finally, in the fourth quarter, he gets a couple of handoffs. He eclipses the total. He finishes the game with 11 carries for 103 yards. And it's funny, I tweeted out, maybe he just needed the entire third quarter for that quarter zone shot to kick in before he got the ball there.
Man,
in
the
the
98 Super Bowl, there's no way it would happen today. Terrell Davis had probably a concussion, but he said it was a migraine. And I had the VHS tape. I watched it a million times. My uncle Mike Shanahan was like, listen, I know you can't see. They're not going to believe we're passing the ball if you're not, or you're running the ball if you're not in there. So you got to go in there. And then he runs into the line, can't see, goes into halftime, something happens, and he comes back and is Super Bowl MVP.
It's amazing how what used to happen back in the day with football. I remember stories that, I heard from players former linebackers in the NFL that I won't say their names, but would tell me that they didn't know where they were on certain plays and literally had to have their teammates line them up for them. Had to have their teammate grab them and say, no, you're here, and put them in the right position. But obviously it doesn't exist now. Thankfully. We're in a much better place with football. Maybe not so much with targeting calls in college football, which is ridiculous, which Miami's going to be without one of their defensive backs for the first half of the national championship game because of a targeting call last night, which is just a joke. But it is what it is. Miami gets the win 31-27. They cover as 3.5-point favorites. The game goes over all numbers, and Miami will advance to take on the winner of Indiana and Oregon tonight. We did a full preview of the Indiana-Oregon game on our college football playoff preview episode, which came out yesterday morning with A.J. Hoffman joining us on the pod. So if you want to go back, you can listen to that and see where we are for tonight's Peach Bowl game between Oregon and Indiana. My best bet was on the over. It's at 48.5 right now, which is still a play for me on the over because you're under that key of 49. But you can go back and listen to that full conversation with A.J. Hoffman to learn what our whole takes are for this game here tonight. Let's move on to the NFL, Mackenzie, where before we get into the wild card games, we had another coaching firing yesterday. Mike McDaniel out as Dolphins head coach. We expected this to happen. We thought it was like ridiculous that they were keeping McDaniel but still looking for a general manager, because what did we say? We said they're going to hire a general manager, and then that general manager is going to fire Mike McDaniel.
Eventually. 6 months from now or a year from now.
Exactly. So I think maybe McDaniel knew about this or realized this, and he was like also maybe thinking, well, I could get a job somewhere else as like an offensive coordinator somewhere. And so he is out there in Miami.
You know, it's kind of like the NBA. Making it is awesome. Getting that contract extension, getting that second contract extension was huge. He got it at the right time, because I don't know if he won a game after that. But last year he gets the contract extension. He'll be set for life. Good for him.
Okay. I saw this on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, wherever I saw this. So I'm not going to take this or credit myself with this original thought. Okay. So let me preface that by saying I'm giving proper attribution to the unnamed internet person that put this out there. Okay. Because I don't remember where I saw it. What do you think about in Baltimore, Brian Flores gets the job as the head coach and Mike McDaniel gets hired as the offensive coordinator?
I'm not sure if I've ever loved the football idea more. That's so great. That's so great. The Blitzburg/Blitz Baltimore has always been a thing. Just intense defense. They won Super Bowls where their defense was the better side of the ball. And then you have the most creative play caller with a guy that's kind of been put in a box with Todd Monken. And even before that, Greg Roman let him run a lot, but still a very kind of by-the-numbers strict offense. I thought, people think Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDaniels, people that are very creative don't want improvisation. Couldn't be further from the truth, because they know what the defense can stop, and it's like 9 of 10 things. They can guess that they're not going to stop this one thing. They're going to put pressure here, and this is going to be open. And sometimes they're right, maybe 60% of the time. When they're wrong, they really are just like, well, do something, Robert Griffin III. Do something, Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson. What a great idea. I love that.
And you get the hard-nosed, defensive-minded head coach, a guy that deserves another head coaching job in the NFL in Brian Flores.
Definitely. 60% ATS in his career at Miami.
Yeah, and I think would command a lot of respect from the Baltimore organization, the players, the fan base as well. I think he's a guy that could step right in there and take over that organization. So, I mean, man, you can imagine that pairing of Flores as DC and McDaniel as head coach. One other coaching news. So Jackson Dart was on the sidelines last night. I don't know if you saw this.
I did not.
Jackson Dart
which
was
game?
on the
college
sidelines.
Game?
Yeah, the college game. You know, obviously he's an Ole Miss alum, right? And the cameras caught him talking to somebody on the sidelines, and everyone's trying to play amateur lip reader, right? And the question that people were putting out there was, what do you think this guy asked Jackson Dart? Because if you look at Jackson Dart's lips, if you try and read his lips, it looks like he says, I don't know, Harbaugh? Or Stefanski. No, he says, looks like he says, I don't know, Harbaugh or Stefanski, I don't know. That's it. And if you think that that's what he says, you know how your brain works tricks on you?
Right.
And it's
right.
like,
fills in gaps.
Exactly. And so if my brain is telling me that he says Harbaugh or Stefanski, now that I'm watching his lips, I'm like, wow, he 1,000% said Harbaugh or Stefanski, right? You know, that's just the way that our brains work.
And he said, I ordered a whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. But, who knows? Maybe it is Harbaugh or Stefanski there. Or maybe the guy was just asking, who do you want? I don't know. So we'll monitor the coaching vacancies here in the NFL.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then, make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour, every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. Or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccp.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
All right, Mac, let's get to Wild Card Weekend. All of these spreads, courtesy of our friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook. We have 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and then 1 game on Monday night. We're going to hold off on the Monday Night Football preview because we'll obviously talk about that on Monday morning's show. We can give an early lean on here, but we'll have more of a breakdown on that Texans game against the Steelers coming up on Monday's episode. So let's start with the Saturday games. The Rams, 10.5-point favorites up on FanDuel at the Carolina Panthers, total of 46.5. Is this too many points to lay when you consider what the spread was a couple of weeks ago when the Rams went to visit the Carolina Panthers in a game that they were upset 31-28?
They lost, and they played pretty well. I think they played up to expectations if you take out the 3 turnovers by Stafford. But I don't think they played badly at all, and I don't think there was like a matchup exposed that the Panthers have a good read on the Rams or anything. I think they just lost the game. And I don't think the Panthers have really impressed. I heard Dave Canales give an interview about like what he's learned, and I'm sure he has learned something as an NFL coach. He went 8-9 just like everybody else in his division. Like they didn't like. It's kind of like the Steelers and the Ravens at the end of the game. The Steelers talking about like what this win means. It's like it means you got lucky. It means you were one of 2 teams that could have won that game. The Panthers are just as bad as if the Falcons or the Bucs were in this spot. So the question is, because this is the biggest home dog in wild card round history, I'm pretty sure that's factual. Is this the best team we've ever seen versus the worst team we've ever seen in this matchup? And I think so. The Rams are a rare wild card team that's the best team in the league by most metrics. And the Panthers are like 22nd, I think, in Fezik's power rankings. So I think the spread is justified.
I think the spread is justified as well. Like, it just feels like, I know on the surface, it seems like it's hard to lay 10 or 10.5 points in a playoff game. I don't think you look at the Panthers as a playoff team. You can't just say, oh, because it's a playoff game, like, oh, just because it's a playoff game, that means we can't lay this many points. If this game was week 18, Mackenzie, and the Panthers were needing to win in order to make the playoffs, right?
And the Rams were max motivated too.
And the Rams were playing to make the playoffs, this might be a 10.5 point spread, like what it is right now. You know,
And then,
so I don't
and then you
think
get in the trend that you've talked about many times. You have Matthew Stafford, one of the more veteran quarterbacks in the league, versus a first-time playoff guy, and Bryce Young. I got this number from VSiN via ChatGPT. It's great Google search. But 23 and 43 since 2004, when a brand new quarterback like Bryce Young is facing a quarterback with any playoff experience at all. 23 and 43.
I love that trend.
There is the
one
home
of my
dog
favorites.
thing, like Seahawks, Saints. Like there is some trends you can say that are, but they're so small sample size. Again, this is like uncharted territory. I like the Rams here.
So let's see. I'm trying to look up some trends here on this game. Panthers, 5th team to win their division with a losing record. Those teams are 2-2 straight up in the wild card round. It was the Bucks in 2022-2023. They lost in the wild card round. You had the
That was Tom Brady's last game, I think.
Commanders in 2020-2021 lost, but they did cover. They were 10-point dogs.
Oh no, that was the Tom Brady game. Yeah. Never mind.
Panthers again in 2014-2015. They actually won their game in the wild card round, and the Seahawks won their game in 2010-2011. That was the Beastquake.
Right.
That was the Marshawn Lynch against the Saints.
And that was the only other time it's been double digits with a home team in the playoffs.
That was 9.5, I think it was, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
9.5,
looking.
10,
I'm looking at 10.
Yeah, sure.
And Commanders Bucks was 10.
Yep. Okay. So interesting stuff. I again, it's Rams or pass for me. I know it's difficult to lay this big of a number in the playoffs, but again, I don't look at this as a playoff team.
Do
I don't
you look at the
Panthers as a
over?
playoff team.
I feel like the Rams defense, if anything, is their vulnerability. They've been outscoring teams recently. 46. I guess I worry about Bryce Young. He might just lay an egg.
Yeah, the question I have here is, can the Panthers score 2 touchdowns in this game? I don't know.
Bryce Young played great in the last game. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty well.
It's
But,
hard to beat a team though for a second time, like after you played them again, right?
Yeah, and I mean, who's going to do
it's
better
a
with
non-
the tape from the first game? I think McVay and that defense.
And I'm saying it's a
yesterday.
non-divisional game, so it's different. Like when you're playing a team for the second time, that's non-divisional.
Right. Because divisional,
so-
you're working on that tape all year. What they're doing.
Exactly. So it's okay. Like you can beat a team 2 times in a season or 3 times, whatever. Panthers team totals at 16.5. I'll tell you right now, if it was at 17.5, I'd go under. 16.5 might still be an under for me. I mean, yeah. Yep. It's Rams or pass, or maybe Panthers team total under. But, yep, that's where I lean on this game. Okay, let's move on to our next game. The Green Bay Packers are at the Chicago Bears. Green Bay 1.5-point favorites, total of 44.5. We've talked about this game before. This is a game where it's the exact same spread it was a couple of weeks ago when the Packers were going to win that game, except they give up an onside kick, a score, and they lose in overtime after Malik Willis fumbles that football game. So think about all the things that had to happen in that game in order for the Packers to lose. My biggest hesitation, though, is how healthy is Jordan Love? What do we expect to see from Jordan Love in this game?
That's the only question mark. And I think I like it anyway, because if Jordan Love is 80% of what he usually is, I'm not sure he's still not underrated. Like, he was 3rd in QBR on the year, and he was 4th in PFF. And people were like, man, should they really even allow him to play over Malik Willis? Like a lot of people just seem to crap on Jordan Love, even though he's like, top 5 quarterback. Not maybe banging down the door of Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but he's been very solid. So he's not a quarterback with 0 experience. Caleb Williams is. Caleb Williams, more like 18th, not 5th in the league as far as quarterbacks go. And again, 35% ATS, 23 and 43 for first-time quarterbacks. This is my favorite play because I think the Packers dominated both games in the last, week 14 and week 16, not that long ago. Look at any adjusted score like Kevin Cole or PFF. Bears by 7 in the first game, Bears by 5 in the second game. And the spread hasn't moved at all. I like the Packers just as much as I did in week 16.
You mean Packers by 7 in the first game and
yes.
by 5 in
Yeah,
the second game?
I say Bears. I like to.
You said Bears.
I have so many Bears fans in my life. I'm mostly anti-Bears, but I'm betting on the Packers. Yeah.
I was about to say, was that a Freudian slip? Did you mean to say the Bears?
Yeah.
I'm with you. Now, the Trench Report talked about this game. This is the closest game of the week. Like, this is a virtual coin flip, right? So it leans in favor of the Bears slightly. So if we were just going trench report here, we'd say the Bears have the edge. To me, like, I kind of want to tease the Bears up from 1.5 to 8.5. I don't see this being a game that's decided either way by more than a touchdown.
Right.
The problem is I don't really have a dance partner for the Bears. You could say it's the Jaguars, but then again, like, I love Josh Allen, and I think that I think the Bills could win that game by 10 points. You know, like,
If you have an open teaser, that's always great.
Sure.
With a total that low, I know it's on the 3 and not on the 2.5, but I don't think the Steelers lose by 10 on Monday night.
I would agree.
That's a non-Wong teaser though, so
it's a non-Wong. I get it. It's a non-Wong. I know.
It's not Wong. It's right. It's not right.
Well, two Wongs don't make a right.
That's true. Sometimes.
So
72% of the time.
So I think it would be coin flip game. You want to be on the Packers. I'm not going to disagree with you. I would want to tease the Bears up. I don't want to just take the Bears though on like a pick 'em. I don't think.
Come on, because they're going to lose. I mean, they don't beat the Packers except for
That's
one
true.
time. Except for the last time I bet on them.
Except for the last time that they did beat the Packers.
It's funny that people talk about, or Bill Simmons was like, it's tough to beat a team three times in a row. Bears. It's like, what? Makes no sense.
Packers have also lost 4 straight games to end the regular season. That's crazy. So they're the 4th team to enter the playoffs on a 4-game losing streak. None of those teams made it to their conference championship games.
Man, yeah,
Crazy, right?
And they went under their win total somehow.
Yeah. And also it's the first time in history that teams are meeting 3 times in December or later, because both Bears Packers games were in December.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, crazy. All right, let's move on to Sunday's games, Mackenzie. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo 1.5-point favorites up on FanDuel, total of 51.5. I'm on Buffalo. I think this is a Buffalo spot. I think this is one of those simple handicaps where it comes down to the quarterback. We are in the playoffs, and it comes down to the quarterback. And the quarterback that I trust is just Josh Allen. Like, if this game is going to be close, if it's going to come down to a fourth quarter possession, I know that maybe the supporting cast hasn't been great. Maybe the defense has let him down at times. But Josh Allen's still Superman. And having that week 18 off to rest, even though the Jaguars really had like a cake walkthrough game of their own, but for Allen to not play at all in week 18, except for that one handoff to start the game, I think helps him here in this game. And I can just see Josh Allen being Superman and taking over the game by himself.
I'm not going to disagree with you. In fact, I agree with you. I kind of like the over here because you say like Josh Allen's the man. I'm not sure Trevor Lawrence isn't becoming somewhat of the man.
He's played like it, yeah.
You know?
He's played well.
Like really since week 13, he's been a top 10 quarterback by QBR almost every week. He was 11th one week. So I initially like loved the Bills, but now I'm kind of talking myself into the over more because I mean, if the Jaguars get up, then I love the over, and I think it might be a back and forth game. Because the Bills can come back in this game if they're down, just like against the Chargers did, or the Jaguars did against the Chargers.
The reason why I love the Bills in this game is because it's a close spread, because I think it could be a second half or fourth quarter game.
Sure.
You have to look at how good Josh Allen is in the second half.
Well, playoff games especially, yeah.
Yeah, but he's the best second half ATS quarterback in the NFL over the past couple of years. Like, he's incredible in the second half. And if this game comes down to a second half performance that they have to come from behind, or it's both teams going back and forth, again, I trust Josh Allen.
Are you worried at all about the foot? He did play, but he only played one snap.
No, because he had he had an extra week off.
That's how I feel about Jordan Love. Like, yeah, he's been out for a month. That's good, right? That's like that's what every player would want. A couple weeks off in December.
Jaguars best record in the NFL to their team total going over, 13-4 to their team total going over this season. This kind of feels obvious that it's going to be an over game, right? I mean, 51.5, it's the highest total of the week, but it just feels like this is going to be a higher scoring game, right?
And it's in Jacksonville. I don't think the weather's going to be an issue, so I like it. I like the over.
I don't think we have I think it's no rain in the forecast, no wind really, so looks like it's going to be a clear day there in Jacksonville. By the way, Chicago could get heavy winds and snow. So
I'm not sure who that helps. I'm not sure who that helps. They're both teams that don't mind running the ball.
yeah, the Bears are better at running it.
Oh, especially recently, but
Yeah,
that's a good point. No, it's of the two, probably Bears like that style more.
Yep. All right, next on Sunday, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles minus 4.5 up on FanDuel, total of 44.5, and we could have some rain. We will have some wind in this game. The X factor here, Mackenzie, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's how bad the 49ers are against the run. And if there's any team that's in this playoff field that's going to exploit the 49ers run defense, it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, the market has moved from 3 to now 5.5, and I think that's because Trent Williams, I think, is trending not towards playing. Like, there's no news report about that, but the market's sometimes ahead, and I am kind of worried about this game. From a fan's perspective, I could see the Niners having a similar performance they did versus the Seahawks if Trent Williams not healthy. The Eagles are not a very complicated team. They have just better bodies than the 49ers. And I don't think you can scheme up Bryce Huff, to win the trench battle against this team. So I'm kind of worried about my Niners here.
Jalen Hurts is undefeated at home in the playoffs. Okay. He is 31-5 straight up as a home favorite in his entire career, regular season or playoffs. 13-1 straight up in December or later. Yeah. And Brock Purdy, 51 NFL starts. He has only been an underdog 4 times. This is the 5th time that he is an underdog.
And what's his record?
0-4 straight up in ATS.
And ATS. Dang, come on, Bryce Purdy. You're supposed to be the underdog that could.
Yeah. No, by the way, according to Evan Abrams of the Action Network, no quarterback is 0-5 ATS as a dog dating back to 2003.
All right, so we're due theory. We are due for this win.
Mortengale, bro.
Yeah, right. This is the site of Brock Purdy's shoulder injury too, in the playoffs as well. Yeah. I just get bad vibes about this game. I hope every time Kyle Shanahan's been in the playoffs, he's won 2 games. So I hope that continues, but it's gonna be tough.
Oh boy. I mean, listen, as someone who has a futures bet on the San Francisco 49ers to get to the Super Bowl,
gonna need to win 3 games now. That's tough.
This would definitely help. And finally, Sunday night, we have the Chargers at the Patriots, and the Patriots 3.5-point favorites, total of 46.5. It's a trench game for me. We know how bad the Chargers' offensive line is. They cannot protect Justin Herbert, and I don't think that they'll be able to protect him here against the New England Patriots.
You missed the 3, or I guess it's open 3.5. I don't know. People are talking about like, you got to get the 3, but that's what every sharp wants to say. That way you don't have to bet it. It's like, I wish I could bet it. I mean, the market seems right here. I don't think the Patriots are world beaters yet. I mean, this is their first playoff game. Drake May, as excellent as he's been, still falls into that 35% ATS trend. Justin Herbert has a playoff, not a pelt, but a scar that he can draw from. I think this just might be a 3-point game. So I'm going to lay off the Patriots here.
Yeah, so we have the quarterback making their first playoff start versus a quarterback with playoff experience. 20-40 straight up since 2002. 20-39-1 against the spread.
I heard 23-43. Don't tell me ChatGPT lied to me, but it's in the same range. Not a good record.
It always depends on which database you're looking at, because some databases have the different spreads. They go by a different closing line or whatnot. So
and some databases, when you talk about quarterbacks, will be like, all right, he played most of the game and he got hurt, so I'm going to take him out. It becomes very complicated.
Yeah, so this is according to Action Labs. So
they're good.
They have that. Like so 20-39-1 ATS since 2002, 20-40 straight up since 2002. Quarterback making their first playoff start versus a quarterback who has playoff experience. When that quarterback is favored by 3 or more points, they are 10-9 straight up, 8-11 ATS. Although Drake May, though.
Oh, that's a great trend. So you're saying overall it's 35%, but if you just look at favorites of 3 or more, it's 50-50?
Yeah.
That's huge, because that does logically make a lot of sense that you're not going into the lion's den. You have a little bit of comfort even in your first playoff start.
Well, 8-11 ATS is not 50-50, but it's certainly a lot better.
10-9 straight up.
10-9 straight up.
So it's still bad, but not as terrible. Okay.
No, not as terrible. Yeah, of course. What's interesting though is that Drake May, as a favorite of 3 or more, undefeated, 10-0 straight up, 8-2
Never
ATS.
lost.
8-2 ATS as a favorite of 3 or more. So Patriots are pass for me in this game, and I think they're going to be able to get to Justin Herbert for sure.
Yeah, I'm be on the sidelines here.
Okay. All right, we'll preview the Monday night game coming up on Monday morning, but I think both of us are going to be on. By the way, it's also an LA team, I should mention, an LA indoorish team going into a slight chance of
That's
snow.
a great point. Never mind. Patriots all the way.
Yeah.
That's a great. No, that's a really excellent point, because you forget. I mean, that's a regular season thing, but the Miami going to Buffalo or something.
Yep.
But how could it not be more relevant to the Chargers, who I bet against in Kansas City and won going against their team total against Kansas City because it was so cold.
Yeah, it's going to be 35 degrees, chance of snow, 10-mile-an-hour winds there in Foxborough.
Wish it was 25, but yeah, it's still going to help the Patriots.
Yeah. And before you say, well, what about the Rams? It's going to be like 72 degrees in Carolina.
It's nice there.
It's not the same.
You don't hear about tech bros moving to Boston anymore. They moved to California and Carolina.
Yeah, there you go. I think both of us are on the Steelers on Monday night.
Yeah, value. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more coming up on Monday morning's episode, but there's your first thoughts right there as the Texans 3-point favorites at Pittsburgh with a total of 38.5 for Monday night to wrap up Wild Card Weekend here in the NFL. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those new members up on BetterDay.com, buckle up. We are getting ready for an exciting time of the year here, football playoffs. Also, we are going to we're going to increase our basketball coverage with college hoops once football season comes to a close. As always, more daily content coming up on BetterDay.com as well. So just because you don't get an email with like an article, like that doesn't mean you should be checking the website all the time. You should go to the website to utilize our free odds page anyway, right? But we'll also be we'll be increasing our content offerings up on BetterDay.com as well. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.